Welcome to the next chapter of As the Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome Davide Tiso from death metal band Red Rot. Red Rot's debut album, Maul de Vivre, is out today, August 26th on Svart Records. A link to the record will be in the show notes. David talks about his experience in the metal scene in Italy, the freedoms and frustrations of being an abstract metal band, how living in the US has changed his perspective, and the musical and lyrical direction of Red Rot. Make sure you give Maul de Vivre a spin. You won't regret it. Enjoy today's chat with Davide Tiso of Red Rot.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's hot here.
You got bass back there. No, guitar too.
Yeah.
Bass guitar. Nice.
We got drums. Got a little bit of everything. You know, we can make a lot of noise.
Good.
How's it going?
Very good. Thank you. It's interviews days today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Promotion.
busy day, just one right after another.
Yeah, they are.
I'll just ask you the same questions everybody else is. Where are you currently located?
I live in San Francisco.
All right. What brought you to San Francisco?
I moved here in 2009 and joined Karen Crisis band.
Okay.
So she came to Italy to record an album, and then we finished the album here. We moved there.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. That's cool. But you're from Italy originally, yes?
Yeah.
Where in Italy did you grow up?
Padua. It's 20 miles from Venice. It's the northeast of Italy.
Awesome. What was growing up like?
Well, that's if you want to play extreme metal, I will not say it's the perfect spot to grow up to, but I was lucky to have a lot of perseverance, and I formed my first band, Eiffel Duet, and I had the chance to travel all over Europe right away when I was I was 19, and I realized that traveling was working for me, and I never felt much of a connection with Italy. So I moved to France for 5 years. France was in the center of Europe, so it was easy for me to tour. And then as soon as I had the opportunity, I was happy and glad to move here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like it here.
Yeah, that's awesome. What got you into metal?
I was 14. I went to a birthday party, and I was not interested in heavy music particularly, but I stood in front of an amplifier for the first time, and it blew my mind. So the morning after, I ring the bell to the guy's house, and I asked him, just teach me how to play guitar.
Yeah. And
3 months after, we started Eiffel Duet together, and we got signed right away.
Wow.
And then I had to learn how to play guitar.
Wild.
It was like a lightning in the head. I was like, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. I never had a plan B.
Yeah.
So music was never a hobby for me. It was just more of a life mission.
Yeah.
So, economically, I will not recommend to go that route, but that's what I did, and I'm glad.
Yeah. It's not many of us are going to get rich doing that.
No, not even survive.
Yeah. Yeah. When you guys started the band, what were the things influencing you? Because that band has such a unique, experimental, sonic signature. There's elements of folk and black metal and Yeah, it's all electronics, like it's all over the place.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of jazz too. There's jazz. There is a progressive metal, progressive music, progressive rock. I think that band started to be destabilizing. Like I wanted to create something that was making people feel uncomfortable. I guess was my payback for feeling uncomfortable in society. And I was like, okay, now I make you pay for that. So every album is different from the other in a way that doesn't show some kind of a growth that makes sense. Is more all over the place. The arrangement that I was trying to develop in the band were completely open, and so I was unafraid to jump from one part to the other, like in a bizarre way, making people jump off the chairs. And what was that?
Yeah,
that's how I approached the band. It was a complete free flow of thoughts, and surprisingly, it got quite of attention.
Yeah,
and even if most people are mentioning the band for one specific album, The Painter's Palette, the band was much more than that, in my opinion. And eventually, it was complicated to keep the band going because one after the other, the member left because for economical reasons. The tour were rough, but I'm very proud of every album done, and I think we made a statement, at least in Italian music, like we were unafraid to jump in and do literally whatever we wanted.
Yeah,
which is a nice place to be.
Yeah. Did you find it hard to find a place to like fit in among the metal scene because you were so just like interested in making people uncomfortable and doing different things musically, that like you're not a black metal band, you're not a death metal band, you're not playing thrash, you're not even like a folk metal band or some like weird Norwegian shit, right?
That is a pretty empowering place to be.
Yeah,
I think so. That's something I was riding along. On the practical level, yeah, it's complicated to not be able to be sold. Like it was difficult for the label to promote us, and it was difficult to figure out who was our fan base. Because, you know, if you think about bands like Cynic or Atheist, and they were on a specific kind of genre. Yeah. Like we were not there. Like so we were outside even the outsiders. So yeah, it wasn't easy to be like to promote the band. It was complicated to sell the band. Yeah. But
yeah. You a big Tolkien Lord of the Rings fan? Is that why you chose the name?
Yeah, we were kids. We were 18. Yeah. Yes. I think I am. Yeah. I used to. Yeah.
You used to be? You gonna watch the new Amazon Prime
No,
show?
Yeah, it's coming out, right?
Yeah. September. Yeah.
September, yeah. We'll watch it, of course.
Well, let's talk about this new project, Red Rot. What led to this project?
When I left Italy, I pretty much lost contact with most people, including the members of Vivre. during the pandemic, I reached out because I was, missing them. And I think the pandemic was a very positive experience for me, especially at the first year. It's funny that we are talking about the first years was different than the second. So yeah, I contact my ex-band members to know how they were doing, and I didn't speak with Lucio, the singer of Red Rot, and if I'll do it for like 10, 11 years.
Yeah,
nothing happened between us. He was forced to leave the band, and we both suffered so much because of that it was painful to connect. And then we started to talk daily, and then more and more and more, and then we decide maybe we should do something. So I asked him to sing in a few projects. In a few bands that I was working on at the time. And then eventually I did one riff that was the beginning of Dualism, a song in the album, the Red Rot debut.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the sparkles. Okay, we got this. We should try this. And then after that, as soon as we decided that we were going to do it, one song after the other came out. Like it was like an avalanche of material. And it took us 3 months to write the album, like all day. Like I remember, we were not working, so it was. So it was a nice time. It took us more time to find the label rather than writing and recording the first album, for sure.
Yeah. That's cool. What led to your decision? Kind of this band is more not focused, but a little more straightforward and kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, this is Red Rot is a progressive death metal band. So we wanted the sound to be starting from death metal. And we branch out towards a tiny bit of Voivod sounding thrash, oblique kind of thrash, and doom.
Yeah,
a sparkle of doom. And I already wrote the second album, and the second album has possibly a tiny bit less thrash and more towards black metal. But that's our defining rules for the band. We stay in this kind of death metal, like primordial death metal, old school raw death metal, and then from there we sparkle the thing with other influences. But that was a specific decision. We wanted to be defined as a death metal band first, and we work very hard to have the sound to be as spontaneous and like raw as possible. No post production. Like most songs are like one take. I recorded the guitar myself and produced the guitar myself. The drummer recorded drums. Bass player did this part. Like this is a very genuine old school sounding band that like is very crafty too.
Yeah. It feels old school in that regard. Where'd the name come from?
Red Rot is a play on what basically is the mold that creates on leather tan books when you don't open them. So it was a way to attack some part of society that is not interested in evolving intellectually. And I always wanted to. I always loved the word rot. Mm-hmm. Rot to me define also some aspect of our sound. This is when our riff is rotting, we keep it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an interesting play on words. Something like, Napalm Death will do that, like that kind of criticizing society in that direction. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. There's moving and living for over a decade now in the States, like changed your views on society or politics, or I don't know, you have a different view on everything.
Well, being born in Italy, there's a lot of disillusion in Italy because I feel that over there, there is this mindset that things should change, but they will never change. So nothing really happened in that direction. Like people don't try as much as French people to actually make a difference. Italians are very prone to complain, but they don't work hard to change something. But the Bay Area is very lively on anything that is social. And that definitely was a wake-up call for me. Like here, like people want to be heard.
Yeah.
And they are going to do everything in their power to make sure that they get heard. And I appreciate that. At the same time, there are a few aspects that came out of this that I am absolutely against, like the cancel culture for me is something that should be canceled. And I feel more comfortable about myself here than when I was growing up in Italy, for sure. I feel more a defined person here. And, you know, here you have the chance to reinvent yourself, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. How'd you guys end up with Svart Records?
I wrote to most of the label that I thought could be interesting to work with, and Svart replied right away. Then they disappeared because there was a vacation in the middle, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." Then they wrote back again when I was about to sign with another label, and I was like, "Okay, Lucio, we gotta stop we gotta go with this label." Svart is an interesting label. I think mostly started from reprinting vinyls and became a gigantic force in the underground printing vinyl records. But then they started signing interesting band, and I noticed that their palette is very wide and like vast. Like I consider them a boutique kind of label that have an awkward taste in music, and we fit quite well, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it worked out. They're quiet people, like Finnish people are different.
Yeah.
There's not much communication going on, but I understand that it's about the temperament of those people there. The first Zoom I did with a label owner was interesting. It's like, this guy is cold. He's upset.
That's funny. Well, the album is out August 26th. Maul de Vivre, is that correct?
Maul de Vivre, yeah.
Yeah, it translates what, despair?
Yeah, it's the pain of living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What led you to that title?
Well, the lyrics in the album are about mental disease and paranoia and anything negative that the mind trick you into believing. And I think that Maul de Vivre particularly summarized the whole pain of living, being also a Baudelaire kind of quote. And I think it's one of those titles that I wrote on my phone saying, okay, one day for the right project, this is it. And I was glad that Lucio agreed on this because I've been holding on the title for a long time. So I think it's perfect for this debut.
Yeah. Was that something you had to deal with? I know so many of us, like early in the pandemic, just like, all right, now we're stuck at home and all you have to do is deal with your thoughts in your head and mental health and your shit. Like,
no, that was something that Lucio always wanted to put out. I think like the way he writes lyrics is something that is very comes very natural to him, but he never had the chance to have a band to do that because I was writing all the lyrics for If I'll Do It. Mm-hmm. And they were much more metaphysical and dealing with anything but living in society. And Lucio went back into the practical aspect of how difficult it is nowadays to get a grip.
Yeah.
So
is that like I mean, for this record in particular, but with like each band you've done, is it like a conscious decision of like, this is what the lyrical content is going to be like? It's going to be, you know, folklorish and, you know, all Tolkien language and,
Yeah,
you know, so much metal. So. There's like metal that's like all like elfish and like wars and other stuff that's like down to earth and like fuck society, right? So
yeah, yes, it was a conscious decision, and considering how abrasive the music is and how raw it is, I think to write about something that is down to earth is fitting quite well, and I tend to be someone that control pretty much 100% the projects that I'm in. And it's something, unfortunately, that sometimes bites me in the ass, but it's in my nature. I'm extremely prolific musician, and I am volcanic. So when it comes out, I have to work hard to be able to control it. And so it's not particularly easy to play with me, but in Red Rot, I made a conscious decision to let the singer be the singer, to let the drummer be the drummer, and so the bass player. So I focus on the guitar, and I suggest here and there where we could head with the direction of the arrangements, but this band is made of, you know, the inputs of 4 different people.
Yeah,
which is liberating and is healthier for me.
Well, you've said you've already written a second record. Yeah. I mean, you haven't even released the first one yet. Is it tough to just sit on that material, or are you just like excited for people to hear the first one and be able to like get that out? Are you planning to tour this album or?
Yes, we're planning to. I wanted to write the album before this album came out, so that I was not influenced by any, like I didn't read a single review.
Okay.
I had the time because we had to wait for the pressing plant to give us the okay to press the vinyls. So I was like, all right, I'm going to write another one. And I wrote 26 songs. And we now narrowed down to, we took off 10, more or less. And now we are at the stage where we're about to start, recording the drums. It's very good. It's a very good album. And and then eventually I will write the third one, feeling the pressure of the first and the second, most likely. But yeah, I am excited about, Nicholas Sundin, the artist that created the first video for the band and the artwork for the album, did the merchandising for the band. I'm excited about we print the first t-shirt so far. And before the release of the album, I'm going to do the second and the third. And we are working on new videos. And I'm excited about bringing this on the road. Our singer is in Europe, so we are planning to do things like in a more involved way. We're not going to be the kind of band that plays weekend shows.
Yeah.
So we're working to find the perfect booking agency to make this happen.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited.
Thanks for listening to As the Story Grows. Our intro music was written and composed by Jeremy Hunt. The As the Story Grows theme is by Bob Nana. If you like what you hear, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and give us a rating and review. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can join us at patreon.com/asthestorygrows. Be a part of our community and join the ongoing conversation over on Discord. If you enjoy this episode, share it on social media with your friends. Much appreciated, and thanks for listening.
I never felt so young and alive as when I'm diving into a tune. And now I'm learning as I listen along, and the wheels are turning, and I started a song. One good word and I'm gone. Oh, as the story grows, the more I want to know, the more I want to show you. As the story grows, as the story grows. You can create something lasting and great, something passionate and real. And I'll bring in my own good feelings, I'll sing it with meaning. Let's just attack it and never look back. It's wild and fantastic. All together at full power, we're so much better. What's that word?